Subscribe now. EU Debates.
We have to be honest with our consumers, households, businesses, that we can't cushion the full blow here, but what we need to do is cushion some of the blow to actually do what we can. And I think if we can get agreement today, the measures will have real benefit to Irish households and households right across Europe. I think the measures the Commission have recommended in taking some of those excess profits and recycling them back into the households make sense. In electricity, in gas, and also in really pushing energy efficiency and flattening the curve in that peak time, reducing demand, and that way reducing the price and helping households. They're practical, they're deliverable, they're not the full solution, but they will help. I think this is complex, that there's so many different aspects to it. We have to be careful that there's several other issues that we will also discuss today, including what can we do on the supply side in the international markets on gas to work collectively to try and bring prices down. We may not achieve every objective today, but I think in the key central measures, in the infra-marginal markets, in recycling revenue back to households, in getting a solidarity contribution from fossil fuel companies, and in managing demand, they're the key deliverables. We will be meeting again to make because there's other measures we will also need to achieve.
Minister Ryan, if I could ask, Naomi in the Irish Times, there's significant criticism of the Commission's proposal, including from within the Commission itself, not to mention among member states, that this is going to be bureaucratic, very costly, very slow to implement, difficult to identify the households that are needy, and all the while people are suffering with shortages, struggling to feed their children and so on. Would it not be simpler to just simply stop charging for renewables and nuclear at gas prices, to unpick that marginal pricing system at source?
To unpick our markets will take time, will take several months, many months. And we can't wait. We can't see through the autumn and winter where people have so high prices waiting for that market reform. I believe the Commission proposals can and have to be delivered within weeks, not months, so that in this autumn, when they're really going to see the high prices having effect, that's when we need the support. That's when we need to get some of that money. It's not easy, it's not ideal, but I believe it is deliverable. It has to be delivered. It's our responsibility as politicians working with the Commission to make sure we can deliver it within weeks, not months.
And so if it's weeks, when can people expect to have that money in their pockets? Next month? October?
I think we'll have to wait. And so first of all, we need to get the mechanism and the measures. And it's true, I can understand the criticism because the level of detail, further detail that's needed, and what's the cap level? How does it apply to people maybe who have long-term contracts in the market? There are lots of complexities. This is not a simple thing to do. But doing nothing is not an option. And leaving householders without some of that revenue that we can help reduce the bills is not an option. And I think the Commission proposals, while not easy, while will undoubtedly have a lot of complexities, they are the right approach.
And then finally, on the mandatory cuts to usage at peak times, will Ireland push for the same kind of exemption that it received in July?
We got an exemption in July in the gas market because we're not connected to the European gas market. The proposals on reducing electricity demand have been really efficient and been very time sensitive, so we don't have to turn on that last generator, which tends to be the more polluting and most expensive. That makes real sense for every country. In each market, each country is slightly different, but that underlying basic analysis of energy markets, that you try and be as efficient as possible and reduce the peak demand as much as possible, that makes logic for all of us to do.
One more question from RTE. Ireland has traditionally been opposed to interference in the energy market. Has the Irish position changed?
The big interference here is from the Russian government. They, through their acts, have used gas as a weapon of war, and that has affected the whole market. We cannot just be ideological and say, we're not going to touch a market. We have to intervene because the whole market has been played with in this way. And I think the mechanisms being proposed do retain still an open market, a trading market, which brings benefits, but they also bring social solidarity, which is what we need through this difficult time. These measures will help bring down the price. They won't cushion the full blow, They will allow us to still invest in renewables, which is what we need to do at speed and scale to really tackle this problem. So I think it is the right approach.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.